Hello everyone and welcome to day 22 of your 30-day beginner mat Pilates challenge. My name is Kaylin and today we have a 30-minute full body burn. We are getting so close to the end of this, so please stick with it. You guys are absolutely killing it. We're just gonna go ahead and jump straight on into it. So once again, you're not gonna need any equipment. We're just gonna come onto our mat and start on our hands and knees here. Warming up the body wherever you're at. Maybe it's the morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, we'll just take some time here. So let's start with some cat-cows. Round your spine, doming it, bring your gaze towards your thighs, and then exhale, arch the back, bringing the gaze up towards the ceiling. Good, again, inhale and exhale. Keep going with that motion. We're gonna turn things up a little bit more now that you guys have started to get a lot more movement in and maybe you're feeling a lot more confident and just comfortable in your body. You can start to add in a few more challenges. Nothing crazy, so nothing to be too worried about here. All right, let's breathe it in and take one big exhale, bring that gaze up towards the ceiling. Amazing, let's come to a nice neutral spine and we're just gonna lift this left arm up high to the ceiling, opening the chest out to the left and then crossing that arm underneath the body towards the right. So now that we've done this challenge and you've been moving with me and the rest of the instructors, you're probably pretty familiar with this. You are gonna notice that there's a lot of similarities in movements, in stretches, but that allows our body to progress and start to see that progress and build that strength. Let's take one more here and bring it underneath the body. The same thing also goes for stretching. We're gonna just jump over onto that other side. So this time that right arm is gonna reach up super high and then it's gonna cross underneath the body. Keep going, but like I was saying, it's the same thing for stretching. You gotta do the same stretches to allow yourself to increase that flexibility. All right, last one here, really open at the top. And then bring that right arm down underneath. All right, let's come back to center here. Take a second to shift your weight forward to roll out those ankles. Breathing this entire time. And now let's take a second to just roll out those wrists, starting with the left. And then let's place it down and roll out the right. If you're someone that has sensitive wrists, take a little bit more time here. You can also start to stretch your hands back, but go ahead and all do this. So I want you to sit your hips on your heels and just take a second to place your palms down onto the mat with your fingertips facing back towards your knees. So those palms might not be all the way down, mine aren't either, that's perfectly fine. This is a very kind of awkward and uncomfortable stretch, but it is gonna help those wrists here. Let's go ahead and turn the palms over the other way. Ooh, yeah, my right forearm right here is very tight from playing tennis. So don't push yourself too far here because it is a very sensitive muscle group, ligaments, bones, all the things. So just hold there for a second. Amazing. Let's come back forward. Now from here, you're gonna plant those toes into the mat and then you're just going to lift your knees to a hover and you're gonna tap them back down. So very similar to what we've done in some of the other workouts here. Just lifting and lowering. Yes, you can. We're only here for 10, 9, 8, making sure those shoulders are stacked over the wrists, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold here and walk your feet out into a full plank position. Amazing. Holding here just for 5, 4, yes you can, for 3, 2, and 1. Press yourself back into a downward dog. Go ahead and pedal out your feet. Maybe you need to take your socks off if they're slipping. And just take a second to stretch, especially in the back of those calves. That's where I feel like I always feel it the most in this stretch here. Breathing through this. We're here for just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Amazing. Stretch it back and let's come into that full plank once again. Okay, we're holding here for a second. And now I want you to bring this left knee into the chest, tap it down, lift it up. So similar to those taps we did earlier, this time you're just on this one leg. You don't want to set this left knee all the way down and take a break. Here you want to keep it super engaged, so it's just a little tap. We're just here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Go ahead and set this left foot in front to bring us into a runner's lunge position. Oh, amazing. So you guys should already be feeling nice and warm. Those planks definitely turn things up super, super quickly. My whole body's always on fire when I'm doing any plank work. All right, so letting our hips just sink down deep here. Maybe you place your hands down. That lets you get deeper. Your hands can also come right on the lower part of that thigh. Maybe they're on your hips, even above your head, behind your head, whatever feels good right now. Press yourself back, flex the foot, straighten the front leg, and let yourself fall over to get a nice big stretch in the back of that left leg. Making sure we're really squaring our hips here, not dumping our weight into the right side of the body. All right, let's come all the way back forward. And then let's just plant that right foot down so the toes are into the mat. You're gonna come back into that plank position. All right, from here we're holding. We're just gonna go into some plank to pikes. So you're gonna lift those hips up into that downward dog, and then you're gonna come back forward. Good, so you're lifting and back forward. You guys got this. Notice how maybe you're starting to feel like some of these movements feel a little bit easier. You could be getting already that much stronger. Again, making sure we're really hitting both the stretch and that full plank before we switch and move into the other movement. We're here for just 8, 7, 6, 5, keep going for 4, 3, last 2, and this is your last one. Meet me in that full plank, and let's do that other side. So this time the right knee is gonna come into the chest. You're gonna tap that knee down and lift it back up. Good, so you're just giving me those little taps. Not too many, you guys got it. Pull that waist up, curl the tailbone down, or pull the waist in, I should say. You have last 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Good, set that foot all the way in front, bring it into that runner's lunge position. So just a quick thing with the core. When you hear instructors, and I know we've talked about this briefly in some of the other videos, but talk about engaging your core or pulling the waist in, it's really important that we're pulling the waist in and curling the tailbone under, not sucking up. I think there can be a lot of confusion around, especially if an instructor even accidentally says after teaching a bunch of classes, like, oh, pull the waist up. Everyone thinks, oh, we need to lift the waist up. But no, you actually want to pull the waist in, curl the tailbone under, almost like someone's punching you in the stomach versus sucking the rib cage all the way up. So hopefully that helps a little bit to clarify some things. Let's go ahead and press ourselves back so that way we have that front leg straight. But hopefully that helps clarify just what the core should be doing and how to properly activate that a little bit more. If you're ever taking in-person classes, you can also just ask an instructor and they'd be happy to walk you through that. Breathing into this, letting yourself fall over, get a super, super deep stretch. All right, let's come all the way back into that runner's lunge position. Press our hands back down to the mat and bring that foot back into that plank. All right, from here, we're gonna add on a little bit. So similar thing to what we just did. We're gonna start on the left side. You're gonna pull that left knee in. You're gonna tap it down. Now, when you tap it down, you're gonna bring your elbows down onto the mat. You're gonna lift the right leg into a little donkey kick here. You're gonna set the toes back down. Press yourself back up into that plank. Lift this left knee up, bring it back into that plank position. So we're doing a larger sequence here. So just take your time going through this. Starting to turn the glute on while still working that entire body. You guys got this. Going super slow here. It doesn't need to be fast. I want you to really think about every movement that you're doing. So making sure that you're really pulling this knee in to the chest as close as you can get it before setting it down and moving into that kick. And on this kick, really thinking about squeezing and lifting from that glute before you tap it back down. All right, just 2 more of these. You're so strong. This is the last one. Bringing it all the way down. All right, now that we're already here, we're gonna jump straight into some glute work. So we're just gonna stay on this same side. Those elbows forearms can be down on the mat. We're just gonna stay in this lift and lower. So again, we're lifting up, lowering down. So really thinking about moving with control here. Yes, you can. If you don't like being on your forearms, you can also bring it up to your hands and just lift and lower that way. Both are effective. See what feels better in your body. See what makes something a little bit more challenging for you. We have last 5, 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Hold that leg up and just hold here at your highest point. I want you to really think about finding where that point of tension is. See if you can turn that glute on even more. Can you lift that right leg up even higher without letting this hip drop open? You want to keep those hips squared so both of the hips are facing down towards the mat. Really squeeze it, and I'll start giving me little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg up. Now you're gonna bend the heel towards the hip, and from here you're just gonna begin to lower and lift with that bent leg. So we're gonna be doing the exact same thing we just did with that straight leg, now just with this bent leg. All right, you guys got this. Breathing into this, making sure that core is staying super engaged the entire time. Lift and lower. Whew. Yes, you can. You can do more than you think. So when things get challenging, I want you to realize that your mind wants to stop before your body really has to. So when you think about quitting or taking a break, just give me 1 or 2 more reps. All right, we're here for last 3, 2, and now on your last one, hold up. Again, really finding that point of tension. Pull that heel closer to your hip. Breathing into this. Maybe you flex that foot if that helps you. Holding here. Squeeze that right glute even more, and I'll give you little pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and set that leg down. Let's press that into a quick child's pose position here. You can walk your hands over to the right. That's going to give you a stretch in that left glute. Whew, that feels good. Taking a nice big inhale and a nice big exhale. All right, we're gonna move into a little bit of inner thigh work before we jump in and do the other side. So from here, you can just go ahead and lay down on the right side of your body. That right leg is going to extend out long. The left leg is gonna be crossed over the right and just with a bent knee, so this left foot is planted into the mat. From here, you can go ahead and just lay down and cradle your head into your right hand, and the left hand can just be planted on the mat in front of your chest for support. Now from here, you're just gonna lift this right leg up off of the mat and lower it back down. Good, so you're just lifting and lowering. Breathing through this. Allow yourself to really lift from that inner thigh. Notice how this feels in your body. We're not here for too long. You just have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg up. I want you to hold, once again, holding as high as you can, really finding that point of tension. Find where that inner thigh is feeling a little shaky. Yes, you can. Hold, hold. And now give me those pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold there, and I want you to finish with giving me little circles back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause and reverse the circles. We finish here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower that leg all the way down. Whew. That felt a nice little burn there. Go ahead and punch it out if you need to. We're gonna go ahead and turn around and just do this all on the other side. So of course we gotta start with that introduction of the glute on the left side. So you're gonna press everything back into a full plank position. The right leg is gonna pull into the chest. I don't wanna make you guys do it twice on the same side. You're gonna tap the right knee down. You're gonna come onto those elbows. The left leg lifts up high. It taps down. You come back up onto the hands. The knee pulls into the chest and it comes back into that full plank. All right, you guys got this. You know what to do. Moving with control here. Take your time. If this feels a little confusing for you, you don't need to rush it. It's not about how many reps you can do. It's about how much you can get out of each rep, how controlled you can make it, how engaged you can make those muscles. Breathing into this. Starting to turn that left glute on as well. Lift, tap. All right. Let's do 2 more on each side. Pull that knee in, extend it down to that plank, tap it back in, tap it down. You're almost there. And then we're gonna move into that glute work. This is it, pull this knee in, make it the tightest one you can, set it down, and then lift that left leg. All right, we're gonna continue into that glute work. If you need to adjust on the mat, go ahead and do that. We're jumping straight into lifting and lowering that leg up and down. So just lift and lower with control. You guys got this. You know what's coming on this side. I always say this, but I feel like sometimes that's better, sometimes that's worse. I always feel like the second side does go by quicker because I know what's coming, but I know some people don't agree with that. All right, we have last 4, 3, last 2, and on your last one, you're gonna hold up. Find that point of tension. Can you lift that left leg a little bit higher? Really squeezing the glute. You guys got this, holding and holding. Breathing through this, engage that core. Pull that waist in, curl the tailbone under. Remember what we talked about, squeeze the glute. Now pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the leg up, bend that heel towards the hip, and we're gonna lift and lower with that bent leg. All right, so we're just doing the exact same thing, but with this leg bent. You guys got this, keep going. Remember, it's always an option to come up onto those hands as well. Keep going here, you're so strong. Not too many more. Then we're gonna do the inner thighs on that other side. We have last 5, 4, I see you guys, keep going for 3, 2, and 1. Hold that leg up, holding here, find that point of tension. Can you lift that foot up higher? Let's flex the foot, almost like you're stamping the ceiling to lift that leg up a bit more. We're holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Give me those pulses for 10, 9, 8. This is where you finish for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Set that leg down and press it back into that child's pose position. This time walking your hands over to the right to get a little bit of a deeper stretch in the left side. Notice how maybe one side felt easier, one side felt harder. That's completely normal. Usually one side of the body is stronger than the other. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the inner thighs on the other side. So I'm just gonna turn to face you guys. You're also welcome to just face the other direction. This time that left leg is out long. The right leg is bent on top. Your head is cradled in the left hand and your right arm is right in front of your chest here. You can make sure that leg, the bottom leg's in just a slight shallow L position rather than completely straight on the mat here, if that makes sense. So rather than it all being in a straight line, you want to have this left leg just in a small shallow L position. All right, let's get started here. So let's lift this left leg up, lower it down. You're lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Again, all of this just with control here. If you ever feel like there's too much on your hips, you can also put like a little pad underneath. I know sometimes if you're a little bit bonier like I am, you can feel that and it's not always the most comfortable, or it happens just rub the wrong way one day. That happens. Keep lifting. You have last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, holding that leg up. Really squeeze that inner thigh. Yes, you can. Can you lift it up a little bit higher? And begin those pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up and finishing with those little circles. You have 5 in each direction. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now reverse those circles for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Set everything down. Ooh, you can bring that leg on top of it. Let's press ourselves up. We're just going to take a quick little stretch. So you can be in this little mermaid position. The left arm is going to reach up over to the right side of the room. And then let's go ahead and come to our sit bones, crossing the right leg, figure fouring it over the left. You can just rock those hips back and forth. Let's go ahead and switch. So just cross the left over the right and rock back and forth here. Go ahead and just turn the other direction so we can do the mermaid on the other side. So my back's gonna be to you guys for just a second. You can just reach the right over to the other side of the room. Amazing. All right, we're gonna do something that's a little different. I feel like you don't see this a lot, but we're gonna work on a little bit of a reverse planking, and then you guys are gonna be done with planks, I promise. So this is definitely a full body movement here, and I want everyone to just try it. We're not gonna do too many. So from here, your hands are facing towards the wall in front of you. Those legs are out long, and from here, you're gonna articulate your spine to lift yourself all the way up. So notice how you're basically in a plank, it's just reverse. That's why they're called reverse planks, so pretty straightforward. So let's start with just this. So from here, you're gonna articulate yourself down, tapping the hips down, and then lifting yourself back up. Good. Lowering and lifting. You'll notice that this does take a lot of upper body strength. We're here for just 3, 2, and last 1. Let's lower down. Take a second to shake out those arms a little bit. Maybe you roll out your wrists if you're feeling like that's too much. If this is too much on your wrists, you can also just bend your knees and do it this way to get yourself a little bit more introduced into it. All right, from here, we're gonna lift ourselves back up into that full reverse plank. Now you're gonna pick up this left leg. From here, right leg, my bad. You're gonna pick up your right leg. From here, you're just gonna extend that leg out and pull it back in. So same thing to what we did in that other like actual plank. This is just the reversed version of it pretty much. So you're just extending and pulling in for just 3, 2, and last 1. Good. Lower all the way down. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. I know this can feel like a very interesting move, especially when it's your first time doing it. So we're keeping it super simple. All right, let's lift everything up. This left leg this time reaches up high, and now it pulls in. Yes, you can. You're gonna notice those lower abs turn on to really keep yourself lifted. You have just 4, 3, last 2, and this is your last 1. Lower yourself all the way down. Amazing. Since we're already in this position, we're gonna move into a little bit of tricep work. We're basically gonna be doing tricep dips, except for our range of motion isn't gonna be super big, so they definitely are more modified than if you're in a gym or on a bench, but that's always an option and a conversation for a different day. So from here, what I want you to do is, again, you're going to press up into this full plank, but instead of lowering and keeping those arms straight and just moving from those hips, you're gonna keep everything super still, and you're just gonna bend at those elbows a little bit. So you're bending the elbows and lifting yourself back up. More than likely, that's gonna be a bit too much. So if you feel like you'd rather, go ahead and bend those legs in, press yourself into kind of this tabletop position reversed, and you're just gonna lower from there. So again, focusing on bending at those elbows to tap your hips down and then press yourself back up. Making sure that your elbows are going back this way, not flaring out to this side. So keep going here, tapping and lifting. Yes, you can. We have just 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Amazing. Set everything down. Go ahead and extend those legs out long in front of you, and let's just take a quick stretch. So reach your arms up high to the ceiling and bend yourself over. Getting deep into this forward fold here. Let yourself sink into this. We're almost done with this class. You guys have less than 5 minutes. So we're gonna finish with focusing more on just your core, since pretty much the entire workout was using our whole entire body, even that upper body. So from here, you're just gonna go ahead and come down onto the mat. You can bend those knees into the chest here. Let's just go ahead and take 3 big circles to the left and take 3 in the other direction, just reversing that. All right, from here, let's bring those legs into tabletop. We're gonna keep the head and shoulders down on the mat. Same thing with the arms down on the mat. So you guys are probably pretty familiar with these by now, but we're just gonna start with some toe taps. So just tapping and lifting. These, while they may seem simple, are so effective, especially for that lower core, which I feel like everyone's always wanting to target. So let's keep going here. Also, maybe you're starting to notice that maybe these feel a little bit easier. You're getting a little bit stronger. That is awesome. That's exactly what we want. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, this is 3, last 2, and this is your last 1. Okay, let's go ahead and plant those feet onto the mat. The hands are gonna come behind your head. We're just gonna do some basic crunches. So I want you to lift yourself up, lower yourself back down. Lifting and lowering. Yes, you can. Moving with control. It's really easy to just do these super quickly, but then they become really ineffective. You guys got this. Keeping those elbows out wide. You have last 5, 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Keep your head lifted. Those arms reach long by your side. Now from here, you're going to move into toe taps. So you're going to shift to your left to tap your left ankle with those left fingertips, and you're going to shift to the other side to tap your right fingertips to your right ankle. Good, and we're just going back and forth like this, keeping the head and shoulders lifted as high as possible the entire time. So we're tapping and tapping and tapping. You guys got this. We're almost there. Yes, you can. You have last 6 on each side. This is 5 already. You have last 2, and this is your last 1. Go ahead and hold and lower all the way down. Now from here, those arms are gonna stay long by your side. You're gonna begin to lift and lower with those arms long. Notice how this feels a little bit different. This is too much on your neck. You can't put those hands back behind your head. You guys got this. You look so good. You have just 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, this is last 2, and this is your last 1. Good. Lower all the way down. Those arms can reach overhead. You can let the legs reach out long as well. You guys did it. You made it. That was a quick 30-minute workout. I feel like it absolutely just flew by. Take a second here. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, let's all reach our arms up high to the ceiling. Let's just do one big roll up to a seated position. So you're gonna roll yourself all the way up. And then let's take another forward fold over those legs. Maybe you bend the knees a little bit to work on getting that chest towards them. Maybe you're focusing more on flexing those feet, pulling up on them. Take whatever feels good, especially in these stretches. All right. That is everything for today. You guys absolutely killed it. Feel free to take a little bit more stretching if you feel like you need it. I know you've been doing so much work, so you might need to give your body a little bit of extra love, a little bit of extra fuel. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow.